Alright, in this video, this is going to be the last video of the set of 4 where we're using information, we're using either the volume or the surface area of a three-dimensional shape to work backwards to figure out a piece of information that's missing about that shape. So in this problem in particular, we're told the volume of a cone is 428.55348 cubic millimeters. Volume of a cone means I need the volume of a cone formula to be able to work this problem. So again, in pink, I actually went ahead and wrote up that formula. Volume is equal to 1/3 times the area of the base, which is a circle, so pi r squared, times the height of the cone. Okay, because we're dealing with volume, we are dealing with the true height from the center up to the top, as opposed to the slant height from the side. Okay, and we're asked to find what the radius of this cone is. So right away, I know that r is my unknown, because r represents the radius. So let's look at the problem. Do we know what the volume of this cone is? And from the first sentence in this question, we are told what it is. We're told it's 428.55348 cubic millimeters. And from the diagram, we can see that the height is 8.6 millimeters. So just like the previous 3 examples from the previous 3 videos, we're going to go ahead and use this information to replace in our formula and set up our equation to solve. So volume is going to get, the V is going to get replaced with 428.55348 is equal to 1/3 times 3.14. Let me fix that. 3.14 times the radius squared, which we don't know, so we're leaving r, times the height, 8.6, the height of the cone. Okay? Now, looking at the right side of my equation, I see that I have 1/3 times 3.14 times r times 8.6. I don't have any plus or minus going on, so I'm going to go ahead and do all of that multiplication aside from r squared. Now, just because 8.6 is on the outside doesn't mean it can't go with everything. Because we're dealing with multiplication, things can get moved around and reordered. So in the calculator, I'm just going to put all of that in together. So for the fraction, I'm going to hit the math button under the green button, left arrow to get to frac, and hit enter. Hit 1/3 times 3.14 times 8.6, all together one line to get one single number. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write it like it's written as much as I can, but when we go to use the calculator, I'm going to show you how not to round until the very end. Okay, so the next line we're going to get 428.55348 is equal to 9.0013, and a bar over the 3 to show that it does continue, times r squared. Okay, now we're still working to get r alone, so I do need to get rid of that 9.0013, so we're going to go ahead and divide it. We want to avoid rounding as much as possible until the very, very end of the problem, because if we round too early, we're going to skew our results. Okay, so to do this division in the calculator, I am going to go ahead and write in that volume 428.55348 divided by, but instead of typing in the decimal that I have on the previous line of this calculator, I can use a tool on this calculator. I can hit this blue second button in the top left corner, and then right next to the enter button on the left side, we have like a dash in between parentheses. That's the negative button, but right above it in blue, it says ANS. Because I've hit the blue button, when I hit this button, it's going to write that on the screen. And what you're telling the calculator to do is to take the number that you typed in and divide it by the previous answer that was found. And because you did that, it's not going to round the result from the previous answer. Okay, it's going to divide it truly. All right, so we're going to go ahead and enter, and we get 47.61 is equal to r squared. Okay. Now, in this problem, because r is squared, we are not done. We have to figure out how to get rid of that exponent of 2. And so to get rid of a power of 2, the inverse of that is to take the square root of both sides of this equation. So we're going to go ahead and square root both sides of this. And that's going to allow us to eliminate the radical and the exponent on r and get r alone, which is what we want. And then we're going to take the square root of 47.61. So to access the square root on the calculator, again, we're going to hit the blue second button, and then we're going to hit the x squared button right above log. And then we're going to type in 47.61 and hit enter. And we get 6.9. So the radius of this circle is 6.9 millimeters. Okay, that is the last of the 4 videos on finding information about 3D figures. I hope you found this helpful. Good luck!